meaningful experiences of their college life. I'm Monica, and I will take you through this eighth episode of Hype Season 3, where we have with us Yatharth Saxena sir, who is an ex-intern at InterviewBit and is currently working at Directi, and Nikita Sharma ma'am, who has interned at Microsoft and is currently doing her SD internship in Amazon. So, if you're someone who's always wondered what data science is or want to know more about data structures and algorithms, then you've come to the right place because today you'll have all your questions answered. Not only will we get to know more about data science or data structures, but their experiences in machine learning and other domains. So, without further ado, let's get started. First things first, congratulations on securing a very vast, a place in this very vast IT industry, which is of course a dream of many. So let's start by introducing yourselves.
Sure. So, hi everyone, I'm Nikita and I'm currently in my final year from IIIT Gwalior. And yeah, I did an internship this summer with Microsoft. After that, I also got a chance to work with ShareChat as a data science intern. And currently, I'm interning at Amazon as an SD intern. And yeah, that's about me.
Okay, so hi, I'm Yatharth, and first of all, congratulate Monica. Like it's so it's so proud that our first year is already so talented that they are able to, yeah, they are so fluent and everything in this. So really good. Thanks for the introduction.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, I am Yatharth Saxena, and currently I'm interning at Directi. Uh, and as a person, I have a very simple lifestyle. I keep myself involved in something or the other. So recently I was learning about finances. Right now I am on to losing some weight, which has been greatly unsuccessful. So so yes, this is how. And regarding my this professional thing, so yes, I have worked with InterviewBet. Now I'm working with Directi. And my primary subject has been data structures and algorithm throughout my 5 years, of course, and something or the other in the middle for a change or something. So that's how. So this is a bit of introduction about me.
So that's really interesting. Both of you have certainly come a long way with so many achievements in your bag. So, how do you look towards your younger self and briefly describe your 5 year journey, both academically as well as non academically?
Okay, so I'll take that first. So, looking back at this 5 year journey, I would say like this 5 year has changed a lot in me. From someone who was a foolish child to someone who is mature enough to analyze things around myself. So, academically and non academically, and I feel more about non academic things. So, non academically, it has helped me grown a lot as a person. I met new people. I met unique people. I saw that how everyone is different, and how we, as a person, how I should respect every the uniqueness in every person, like everything. So that has been great. I would say maturity level, or would say understanding levels have increased a lot if I see from my first year to my fifth year. And like not only always age is always a factor to develop your maturity, but my college life and my community and like the people around me had played a major role in my personal growth. Then talking about academically, yes. So I would say that academically I have degraded only. So I have not done anything much. In 11th and 12th, I was very sincere student regarding my subjects and regarding my scoring exams and all. And by the end of fifth year, I was like, I didn't even go to see my CGPA in the previous semester. So that's how I degraded in my academics. According to skill, like skill level also comes under academic. So in that, of course, I understood that why skill is important, what is importance of having a skill, how you should take steps to get a skill. So yes, that has helped me a lot. Right. Over to
Uh,
Nikita.
okay, so my journey academically and personally was more or less like a list of trial and errors and I think a plethora of mistakes that helped us learn both personally and professionally. So academically, I was not a very dedicated student from the start, to be honest. And but yeah, we explored things that we liked, tried our hands on everything, and then found our path. Or we're still on a journey to find our paths. And Personally, I think that my journey needs to be censored for this platform, but mostly it involves, movie nights with friends and, last minute exam preparations, panicking before an interview, and then ending up watching horror movies in each other's rooms, then reaching college gates in a questionable state at midnight, things like that. So, yeah, that all compiles up our life till now.
This sounds really fun, and we can't wait to experience all of this. So, sir, you've qualified ACM ICPC not once but twice, which is no easy feat. Can you tell us how you started your programming journey and also about the hurdles that you faced in your initial phase?
Yes. So um, I would say that my coding journey or my journey in college is not only about me. So like it's about a lot of people with whom I have learned. If I consider that if out of 100% of the total coding I have done, 60% was because and with the people or with the team with me. So like in the first second year, especially the first year, so I was from ICSC board. So I had a privilege of knowing the language, but that privilege doesn't prove to be much fruitful because I had a wrong perception that I know coding. So this is something I also want to know. Like my juniors should understand this, that knowing a language and knowing coding are completely different things. Like not a different thing. I would say knowing a language is the first step of knowing coding, and coding is, you can say, a long staircase of, also I also don't know that how many steps. So it's just a one step. The first step of coding is language. So if you are in first year and if you know any programming language, don't brag about it, and don't sit without doing anything that I know language or something. So that is just a first step. So but I did the wrong thing. So I had a wrong perception that I know coding, so I didn't do much in my first year. I wasted almost all my first year. Then in the second year, I realized, okay, so now everyone knows coding. So everyone knows a programming language. So now I didn't have any privilege of knowing any programming language, like extra something. So now I was same with all. Then I started exploring things. I saw that how big coding is, what it is all about, the data structures and algorithm. Then the second year went like this. I was solving the basic code chef questions and hacker rank and hacker. Then by the end of the second year, I was with my first team, which was of me with Mehul and Shiva. So they are my really good friends. So we started thinking, okay, so we can try giving the ICPC next year. So for the first time at that point of time, I started spending very disciplined. I started solving the problem. So we started learning. We practiced 2-3 contests in the whole day, and then we discussed on that, up solved the problems and how. So then in the third year, when we qualified for the ICPC, then it was really great. We felt the importance of it. We also get some extra importance out of that. So that really motivated me personally. Then after that, after the third, by the end of the third year, I met Sahil. So Sahil has been my constant companion all over my, like, after third year. So then we started taking coding very seriously. We spent a lot of time, around 8 to 9 hours we spent in the coding, in the labs, and we discussed problems, and we did extensive, those 50 or 60 days, really we did very disciplined. During that, I learned dynamic programming and all. Then again we cracked, with Sahil and Sanjeet. I was able to crack ICPC the next year, 90. So we went there, and then when we came back after that, there was more pressure of placement. So I started doing Geeks for Geeks and Lead Code, and then I got placed. From after that, I'm not doing much of coding sort of thing. And one thing I want to mention is, like, I always had a privilege of having Arjun as my friend. So any problem, any question, any concept, I just bang his door. So he just opens it and I ask, and he's very like, seriously, I had very privilege of having him. He was always available for me to discuss any problem, any concept. Most of the times I didn't get his technical terms, but still I tried my best. So that's how my coding journey has been throughout. So it's not only about me, it's about a lot of people, a lot of people who were in my team, who were with me, who were like I hope you get my point.
Yeah, that's amazing. So SD is a superset and they can be asked to work on any technology. So what technology did you work on during your internship and how easy or difficult was it to adapt and how did you make all of this possible?
Okay, so like in interview bit, I worked on Ruby on Rails and React. Like interview bit was a startup. Okay, so before that, let's ask Nikita about her college journey. She skipped the question, she skipped the answer. So I want to listen what she has to say, like how it has been journey for Nikita. Then I'll answer this.
Yeah,
So I don't know what to say. He covered most of the coding part, so more or less the same. Tried to explore new things. I did coding in my first and second year, just the basics like doing codeship problems and taking part in some contests. After that, I diverted to machine learning, and I found a great interest there. So I continued that throughout my third year, and then I also read up a little bit about some development. So just trying new things is all what my journey has been about. And yeah, I before the placement season, I also did some Geeks for Geeks and some lead code questions to strengthen my data structures and algorithms.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so now moving to the question you asked, that on what tech stack I worked in my internship
Yeah.
and all. So yes, as I was telling in interview bit, like when I joined interview bit, so in the college I used to think, okay, I know coding, I'll do it. And when I joined interview bit and I got the access to the production code, and I was like, it was so big, it had so many files, like it was really tough to understand each and every block, and every person is working on in a very small part of it. So I was giving very small tasks in Ruby and Rails. But yes, I would say that working in a startup and like interview bit, it's not about only the tech stack I worked on, because it is growing right now. So so much versatile work I had to do. I worked on this Ruby and Rails, of course, the React. Then I was also the instructor in that, so I had to take classes on segment trees, DPs, and topics like this. Then at times I also took the interviews for hiring interns and full times. Then creating videos for tutorials, and managing teams, at times interacting outside people. So it's not only about the tech stack I learned. It was a wholesome experience in its own. So I learned a lot. I did so much in there. I experienced so much. So yes, it was extremely great working with InterviewBit. And in Directi, like majorly, it's I'm working on React, and I'm terms related to it like Dexy. Maybe you not have heard of that. So that's a different thing. So I would say the React thing is the major thing I'm working in my Directi.
Okay, that seems like a wonderful experience
Ah,
and
yes,
a
it
lot
is.
of others. That's interesting. And what about you, Nikita, ma'am?
Okay, so in Microsoft, I mainly worked with C Sharp and .NET. As you know, they are the languages developed by Microsoft itself. And so, yeah, it was quite interesting. I worked on a system design problem. And from there onwards, I was really, really invested in software development because I saw a real world problem being solved by us, and I was a major part of it. So, yeah, that interested me a lot. And with ShareChat, I worked with Python mainly and data science. So the major in machine learning and neural network libraries like PyTorch, TensorFlow, etc. And currently in Amazon, so I'm working on another system design project. So I'm currently working on its design. Other than that, I also worked on Python, and mainly we work in Java in Amazon.
Okay, yeah, that must be great. So, since we know that it's always difficult to manage time in college because we have minors, majors popping up every now and also from a fresher's point of view, there are a lot of workshops, sessions, competitions, club activities, whatnot. So, how could a person manage all these things along with coding and development hand in hand? Or what tips do you have for us juniors in this regard?
Okay, so we have like 5 years, right, for our journey. It's a lot of
Yeah.
time to explore everything. A junior doesn't need to think that, okay, this is one field that I explored, like it might be Android. And even if I'm not liking it, I do not have time to switch to some other field, okay? You would have a lot of time to explore all the fields that you want and then take up one field that you really want to do. I don't think that minors and majors would pile up a lot of work on you. Talking about us, we mostly studied like a week before majors and maybe 3 days or sometimes just a day before minors. So, yeah, you have to manage your time over there. Just one little thing to keep in mind is to be consistent. Like, you might be going to a party in the night, but just keep 1 or 2 hours aside for, what you wanted to learn that day. So just be consistent and you'll have a lot of time to do all the things that you want, including academics and all the other activities.
Yes,
Noted.
actually, of course, Nikita is the best person to answer this because she was topper in academics. She got the first placement, and then in a batch, and like in the starting people, like yes,
Not at
of
all.
course, she managed everything. She was excellent in sports. She did
No,
almost
no,
everything.
no. Just look at me right now. I cannot even walk the stairs.
Okay,
Okay.
but like I'll add just 1 2 points in this. Like first thing is that like mostly whenever we talk about college life, especially in our college or the juniors approaches me, especially for second year, they talk about that how to do good in coding or how to manage things in coding. So one thing I want to mention here is that like these 5 years are not just about coding. So there it's not like that there is only one thing you need to do, that's coding. It's the 5 years and also the one of the most energetic and sharp years of your lives. So it's okay and it's good to participate in something which doesn't align with your placement. So if you want to learn music, if you want to do something in sports, if you want to do anything xyz which is not aligned with your placement, so that's completely fine. Second thing, whatever you are doing, if you are organizing any fest, if you are participating in any sports, do everything. Like just be disciplined about it. It shouldn't be like you participate, you are like you're not studying or you're not doing anything just because you are thinking that you are part of the coordinating team, but then in the coordinating team you are not doing anything, you are just running away from the work. So this is not, don't lie to yourself. uh, and the second thing I want to mention here is that like you have so much time, so it's not about that you have to do coding for the whole 5 years. So it's okay if you take a break of 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month and participate in some coordinating team or participate in some fest or do anything and then come back to you. So a lot of people in a college just spend the last 1 or 6 months in into coding and they get their placements, they get the good placements. So it's not like about managing, like whether you should go to some workshop or you should do coding. It's not like that. And another thing, you should also set your priorities. So for me, it was always important to get a decent placement at the end of my fifth year. So that's why I always manage my time such that I am able to give some time to coding and all. So that's about your priorities. You should know that what you want. If you want to see yourself after 5 years, who is searching profession in sports, then spend time on that. So it's all about setting up your priorities. That is something which is, I feel, which is very important.
Okay, that's really great advice, and I think all the freshers would find this really useful. So, brief us about the complete interview process, starting from how did you get this opportunity to appear for the interview and to the actual interview day, and how did you manage to cheer yourself up through all of this?
Okay, so how did the interview process go? So, like for Directi, like I got the offer from Directi first. So it was a 2 month internship, but then it got postponed due to the COVID thing. And during that, I got the internship interview bit. So my first process was in Directi. And the about the opening thing, I would thank Rohit. Rohit was my gallery mate. So he told me about this opening, and I applied with so less excitement, because listening to the word like Directi is something like, oh, it's a big thing. I didn't have the confidence that I would be able to qualify that. So Rohit told me about it, and he even gave me the email address of the HR. I sent her the mail, and then nothing happened. Then we did this in November 2019, I guess, right? So then nothing happened. Then after 4 months or 5 months, in January 2020, I got the call from the HR, and she said that we have closed we closed the like vacancies at that point of time, and now we are reopening it. So I am trying to call you and all. So I'm scheduling a call tomorrow. So I was like, I didn't even try for it, and it came on itself. Then I gave the coding round, and like it was more of the competitive coding questions. Then I moved to the next round. In the next round, it was about again the DSLGO thing. So two questions were asked, and luckily one question was from Hacker Rank. So I had solved it during my practice session, so I was able to do that really quick. So that made a positive impact on the interview. And then the last round was taken by the tech lead. So he asked a few questions on OS and some question on DBMS, and then one high level design question. It was a simple high level design question. So he asked me that, and that's how I cleared. Like late after 20 days, I got the call from the HR. So one thing I want to mention here is that everything's come on its own at the right time. You have to be patient. So I tried in so many companies. I sent mail to so many companies, but Directi came on it itself. Like I was hopeless on applying it. I didn't even wait for it. I was not even searching like any opening about it, and not anything. But it came on itself. So things take time, but they'll come on their own. Nikita?
Right. So about me, so Microsoft was an off-campus opportunity. We got to know about it through the careers page, and we had a all India coding round first. It had three questions to be solved in 90 minutes, and after that we had a virtual round, virtual interview where we got some basic DS algo questions, and yeah, I was also asked some questions about OS and DBMS, so better to keep that in handy. And other than that, I got my on-site call uh, on a very short notice. I got a call on 12th November stating that they've scheduled my interview for 16th November in Hyderabad. So we reached there, and there were two on-site rounds. Basically, they cancelled the HR round, so both the rounds were technical, and most of the part covered the projects that I did in the past, specifically my BTech project. They were interested in that, and they also asked like a few coding questions. However, they were quite lenient about the syntax or the languages. So you need not worry about that part in an interview. Even if you are able to like write a pseudo code with a good optimized solution that an interviewer approves, then that would also be a good way to go.
Okay, both of your experiences seem really interesting. So the COVID period has turned everything upside down, and the placement process as well. So, was the interview process manageable with the online mode? Like, please share your work from home experiences as well.
Okay, so uh, apart from the interview, like interning, work from home is a little difficult, yeah, because you need to put yourself out there. You have to explicitly communicate with team members about any issue that you're having. Otherwise, you'll be stuck, and you'll be at the mercy of your mentor to reply you. And it could take him hours to reply sometimes. So it's better to approach other team members, so we have to do that all over the internet, right? Otherwise, if you were in
True.
office, you could just rush over to that person and ask him your questions. So the most important thing is to communicate everything to your teammates and your manager, and they will guide you. So they know that we are an intern and we have no idea about the tech stack. We have no idea how a production level code works. So they will always treat you like a noob, and they will always teach you from the start. So there's no worries there.
So Monica, you were asking about the hiring process online or working from home as online? What
Oh,
was the
both.
question about? Okay,
Both
both.
of that.
Okay, okay. So like my this direct type thing happened before COVID only, and so it
Okay.
was online. So like it was online, and most of the off campuses, if you apply, you'll get the online calls only, irrespective of you are
Okay.
during the COVID period or you are like after the COVID period. So in the hiring process, I would say the in the online process there is nothing much that would change. It's just you like when you are going to some place, so you are more comfortable when you are sitting at home and giving an online interview. So that is something a little bit of change that like I have never given a walk-in interview, so I'm not sure, but I know that if I get the chance to get give the walk-in interview, like my voice would shake like this. I wouldn't be able to give because I never experienced this. So yes, it's a much more comfortable giving the interview from online. Okay, so that is one thing. Then working from home is like yes, it is more comfortable and you are more efficient and you are more uh, you can work for more hours. You don't have to sit in the office. But one thing I felt during when I started my interview bit internship during May, I felt that like in the initial phase it becomes very difficult, because if someone is explaining you by sitting just beside you, it becomes very easy. That person can point out things on the screen and tell you, look at this point, explain you better. So but if you are online, then you have to go on a call, you have to schedule a call, you have to go on call, and that person has to tell you, okay, so this means this, then that it becomes a bit chaotic online. So that is something I felt. So like in the interview bit, nearly it took me 2.5 months to learn and get like grip of the production code and all. But I feel that if it was offline and if that my senior was sitting right beside me, it would have taken at least half of the time it took actually. So that is something I feel that that's the difference between online and offline. So yes, I would prefer if anyone is joining the office, or they have an option to join office and work from home later. So initially for starting 6-7 months, they should go for offline in office thing, and then later they can switch to work from home when they have a good grip on the work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything has its own pros and cons.
Ah,
So,
yes, exactly.
yeah. So tell us about the mindset of the interviewers. What, according to you, are the expectations of an interviewer from an interviewee? Also, like, tell us about the behavior in the interview room, like the environment there, and were they quite stern with their protocols or?
Okay, so mainly when you walk into a technical interview, the interviewer does not expect you to know all the answers. Okay, they just what they expect is basically that they put a question in front of you, and you should be the one who's taking the solution forward. All right, so they put up a question that is unknown to you, and you should be able to solve it. You do not have to know the most optimized way. You can start with a simple solution, and the interviewer will definitely guide you, give you small hints during the solutions so that you could optimize your queries, optimize the solution. So they're not really very stern about your interview process, but they do expect you to catch their hints a little bit, and take that solution towards where he wants. So yeah, other than that, I don't think that interviewers are really intimidating in technical interviews. Especially, they are very welcoming, and first of all they make you feel comfortable and then start with the questions. And you will never feel the fact that if you do not know a solution, that means that you're less capable or you're not a deserving candidate for this internship. That doesn't mean that at all. You just need to solve that question with him. You just have to show you how your thought process works. Just communicate with him, and he will definitely communicate back.
Right, right. So I'll add just one point over here. So, like as like the number of interviews I have given, I felt this that basically I have seen two types of interviewers. So the first one is usually the one which has more experience, 10 to 12 years of experience, and the others which has just 1 or 2 years of experience. So I have seen that the ones who have more experience, they look into the like into your potential. Like they look that like, is this person even worthy for the company? It's because they understand that it is okay that the person is has the potential but is not able to solve the problem at that point of time. But even that, they look at, okay, how much the person is able to discuss the problem, how to what test cases he or she is able to cover. So those are the people that have around 10 to 12 years of experience. And the second type of people are those which have 1 to 2 years of experience, and they are those which want you to solve the problem. Like, if you, howsoever good technique or thing you apply, if your code doesn't run for all the test cases at the end, they'll forward a negative feedback for you. So yes, it depends on what type of interviewer you get. One thing is, like Nikita said, that one I like, this is a small advice regarding interview to everyone listening this. Like, I have tried doing this. So always I feel that what I do is, I always try to like, if I'm answering something, I end that answer with a open end. Like I know that what could be the expected question after this, so I ended that at that point. So I have, like, it becomes a high probability that this interviewer will ask this, like, that open end, like the end with which I have left. So that helps me to take the direction of the interview in the flow which I want. So let's say, if I want to, I know a lot about one of the project, so I'll start talking about it, and I'll stop my answer at that point, at which I feel, okay, after this the next question would definitely be this, which I know. So I stop at that, and the interview asks me the same question, which is that, so, or related. So I take the like solution or the interview, I would say, in the same direction which I know. So this is something you can try doing it if you are applying for the interview. So it would be good if you control the flow of the interview. So if you answer completely, then the next question would be completely different. So it may be of your it may be related to your project, it may be related to something you know, and it might be not. So it would be better if you make sure that the next question should be related to what you know. So that's how you should control the flow of the interview.
Okay, that's really nice. And for those of you who are watching it, if you have any questions, you can put them up in the chat box, and we'll take them in the end. So, moving on, since we know that both of you worked together on the same research paper, so can you brief our audience as to what precisely it was about, and tell us how is it working together as a team?
Okay, so although we were working as a team, but most of the thing was done by Nikita. So I'll prefer Nikita would answer that. Like, the idea was her, the idea of doing something new or solving a real life problem was hers. I just held her in coding, and like, I was very bad at NLP and thing. So yes, she did a lot of work, and of course Ashish was the, like, he was one of the supporting pillars of our team. So it's not about only we both work. Like, once I and Nikita were talking that if we didn't have Ashish, then how would it be as a team? So yes, so now, like, let's Nikita enlighten that thing.
Yeah, so we were a team of three, and from the start, we did not know what problem we are going to take. But what we knew was that we wanted to like solve a real world problem, as Yatharth said. And so we wrote. We actually did not have it in mind that we had to write a research paper from the start. So the problem statement that we took was of Indian Sign Language recognition. So towards the end, we were able to make an interface, or you can call it a website, that would first of all, if you like speak something, or if you display some hand gestures in the camera, then it would convert it into Indian Sign Language for the other person to see. And also, if you are not if you're not comfortable talking in English, then you can just show the gestures to the camera, and the camera will convert it into voice. So a voice to gesture and a gesture to voice conversion for Indian Sign Language recognition was our project. And yeah, towards the end, like, we did a lot of experimentation with the project, like what to apply, what not to. So we had a cascaded architecture. And towards the end, our faculty members or our mentors supported us to write a research paper on the same. So that's what we did, and fortunately, it got published. Other than that, working together was a lot of fun. Like as Yatharth mentioned, he and Ashish did the most of the work on the interface part and the data collection and everything. And Ashish really helped us get write that research paper. And I worked on the ML part of the project. And yeah, we used to sit together in labs, and more often than not, we used to watch cricket matches on the projector. But other than that, we also worked a little,
Yes.
and we were lucky enough to get it published.
Yes, I even
Wow.
remember that we were in the lab, and on that day there was some special match, maybe some semis or something. And I, Nikita, and Ashish, we set up the projector and we were watching the match. Like it was great working together, really great.
Yeah, you guys seem like a wonderful team. It must have been a really great experience. And I love the idea. It was amazing.
Watching the projector or the BTV idea?
Everything. I mean, the experience and the whole idea of the research project.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what specific advice would you like to give your juniors seeking internship opportunities in their third and their pre-final year? Should they focus primarily on their coding skills for clearing internship interviews, or do development skills and coursework also play a huge role?
Okay, so starting with an advice for our pre-final year juniors. So basically, you just need to focus on your basics, right? Get your logic straight. Coding is a major part of cracking any technical interview, especially an SD interview. Even the interviews for a machine learning internship or a web development internship definitely starts with a coding round. So you cannot get anywhere without coding. So just focus on your coding skills, and like if you're doing lead code, then it's a good practice to solve a question after you have submitted a solution. Just look into where your solution lies according to space and time complexity. It shows that if your solution is optimized and how many people have a better solution than yours. You can also go to the discussion section, and after each question you solve, you can look at how other people have approached that problem. That will give you a new insight to each and every question. And other than that, I personally think that this internship season is not just about placements, just about internships. It is actually really important to handle rejections. So I think this is going to be a long answer. So handling rejections is very important, and being a part of a group is really really important. They are your support group. So basically what happened with me is, after I got an internship with Microsoft, I was very chill that yeah, this is it, this is the company that I want to go, even though I did not even work in it yet. But I was very sure that this is the company where I want to go. And after a good internship project, a good review from my mentor and manager, I completed the project 2 weeks prior to my deadline. But still, somehow I did not do my best in the interview that followed, and so I did not get a chance at Microsoft as an FTE. So yeah, I thought that this is the worst that can ever happen to me, like ever. So I really thought that this is it. What am I going to do next? And this the result came on 31st July, and Amazon was visiting on 2nd August. So what I would like to say is that everything happens for a reason, and the universe will definitely work its will through you. You would have no control over some of the things. And yes, to like add a silver lining, if I would have gotten as an FT in Microsoft this whole year, for me it would be about like being curled up as a ball and eating tubs and tubs of ice cream and just binge watching. But I did not get that opportunity, and I was fortunate enough to work with ShareChat, and currently I'm working with Amazon as an ST intern. So mostly that was the point in my life that helped me grow both professionally and personally. So handling rejections is actually very easy, because at the time of placements, right, the internship season or the placement season, it gets very disheartening at times, and it also gets toxic at times, looking at others getting those opportunities, etc. So it's really important to zone out of it. Internships and placements are just a part of your life. Don't let it consume all of your life. Take that frustration out. Take a take a day off and do something that you really want to do. And even before the end of each day, just take 1 or 2 hours for yourself to do what you actually want to do, aside from this placements and internship section.
Right, exactly. I was also thinking the same thing, that like during this phase, we have two things that we need to take care. One is the moral thing, like the personal motivation thing, and the second is the technical thing that we need to take care of. So that the first thing, the non-technical thing, and the self motivation thing, as Nikita has already covered, and she has covered it very beautifully. I would say that yes, the patience and the the sense that okay, it's okay to get rejected, I'll try again, and that all thing is very important. So she has covered it already. The technical part, I would say that in the third year, in the as far as I have seen, in the third and fourth year, we have two types of student. Like you can be type 1 or type 2. So type 1 is who is more into development and who is more into NLP and thing, and the other is one who has done the competitive coding so far. Okay. And when we appear for the internship, again we have two types of companies. So one are the ones which are some like brand companies, you could say, like Google or Amazon or something, Microsoft. And other are these startup companies. Okay. So startup companies are majorly, they want that if they hire someone, they just put that person onto the work. So they don't have much time to, like, mostly they are the immediate hiring. So they don't have much time that they teach up someone from the scratch that what development is and how it works. And so that's the startup thing. And the like the companies which are big brands, so they hire someone who, they look for people who are logically sound, and they think that their environment would themselves turn the employee into a developer in 6 months or 1 year. So they can afford that 6 months or 1 year. So they look for the coding thing. Okay. Now for both type of students, the first one was a developer and the second was the coder. For both of them, it's really important to go through the questions of Geeks for Geeks or the lead code. All the questions are same on both. That is because even if you, like, if you're a developer, then definitely you want it, you need to do it, because you need data structure algorithm. Even if you have been doing competitive coding, so as my personal experience, a lot of questions on Geeks for Geeks are like, until they go through your eyes once, at least once, it would be very difficult for normally any student to do it, because there is a bit of tricks and tips and something, a very irrelevant observation or some irrelevant step that would solve the question, and people sitting on the hiring side, they expect you to solve it. So the first thing is, definitely you should go through, even if you are doing development or you are doing coding, definitely you need to go through all the questions, maximum questions of Geeks for Geeks. And then this is for the companies which seek the code or logically sound people. Then the type 2 companies which I talked about, the development companies which seek, so for them, of course, so there are many companies, I remember I gave for Postman, so they were looking for, they didn't ask me competitive like coding question, they only asked me about questions about general development, because they wanted me to hire, they wanted to hire me and put me on work. So yes, both things are required. But yes, if you do coding, and especially the Geeks for Geek question, the probability becomes high because more companies are seeking that only. So that's a little advice. Go for both the things. But yes, doing Geeks for Geeks is definitely very important.
Okay, that was some really great advice, and I'm sure all of us will find it very useful. So you got the chance to experience the campus life pre-COVID, and must have plenty of memories to cherish. And I'm pretty sure you'll always miss those moments. So tell our audience about the funniest things that you encountered. I mean, any pranks or like crazy last-minute exam preps or deadlines or any of that sort.
Yeah, so most part was like working with seniors in fests, etc. Every day had a deadline since you're working for your seniors. Just kidding. Apart from that, we had a lot of fun, like hostel parties, hostel farewells, Janmashtami. We also made a Ravan on Dashera, etc. So yeah, we had a lot of fun in our college life along with our seniors. So they were a huge part of it. And other than that, if I have to like state a prank or a funny memory, it's not more of a prank. The people who got pranked just walked into it themselves. So basically, what happened is that sometimes I had a tendency to, imitate dogs and puppies, their voices specifically. So once we were in the class of a very strict professor, and a dog started whining and barking outside the class, and others could hear it, and all of them thought that I was the one making that noise, and they could not stop laughing, and that ended them suspended for 4 days and also got kicked out of the class. And the irony is that I wasn't even in the class that day. I walked in the next class. So
Shouldn't we
yeah.
ask Nikita to give a live performance?
Yes, please.
Actually, that's for just for special guests.
Okay, then for me, like yes, of course, like there are countless of memories with countless of people. Not countless, at least 120 people. That was our strength. Not like there is not any specific like. One thing which I remember very keenly is the Harlem Shake thing. So in the second year, there was some fest coming up, and for its promotion, some online rounds were going on, and we had to make a Harlem Shake video. So and then the more likes and more winners and all. So I, Gajpal, then Shubham and Chinmay. So we were 5 to 6 people, even one of our senior also. So we created the Harlem Shake, and then we were like promoting it for, I guess, for 400 or 500 rupees. We did so much. so but the enjoyment and the that thing is, it was really great. Like it was really fun. And apart from that, there are a lot of moments like we cherished. We like a lot of moments. I can't state them all. Maybe this is one, and maybe this is not the best. I couldn't remember the best because they are infinite.
This sounds so fun. I can't wait to go to college.
I know you all must be jealous.
Yeah, so jealous. So, ma'am, we know that you play very good table tennis and won multiple events in college. And, sir, even you play really good badminton. So, how important are sports to you guys? And do you think these helped you break the interviews?
I hardly think that we should connect like each and everything with interviews and placements, but yeah, sportsmanship always helps, like in every sphere of life, you can say. Other than that,
Right.
specifically, I don't think that table tennis helped me crack an interview. However, when I went on site in Hyderabad, after getting selected, I definitely went to the TT table where everybody was playing, and yeah, that's it.
Yes, very rightly said that. For me, badminton. Like I was never that good in badminton. That like not the excellent one, but I always kept myself connected to it. In the evening or so, I just usually go and play badminton for 2 3 hours. And yes, like Nikita said, we shouldn't connect everything to coding and placement, because right, what I said that. Like in this 5 year, it's not only about coding and it's not only about placement. So if you are playing badminton, you shouldn't think like, if maybe if I say yes, okay, badminton helped me, so from tomorrow you start playing badminton because it helped you in placement. So that's not the correct idea. So play like enjoying every aspect of life during those 5 years is very important. So for me, badminton was maybe it. I don't know it helped me in my placement or not, but it really helped me in breaking the stress that was happening. I also remember that after
Right.
my last interview in Directi, and from the day of result, the day on which I got the result, there was a gap of 20 days. So in those 20 days, I was so stressed out that I used to think that should I call HR? I should. It's taking too much and all and all. So yes, but whole day I was thinking about that. But during the evening hours, which was from 5 to 8, when I used to go for badminton, I didn't think about it anything. Like not even once it used to come in my mind that what would be the result. So that's how sports, or not only sports, I would say any extracurricular activity that interests you, maybe you are good in it or you are not good in it, that's not an issue. You shouldn't leave it if it interests you. So you should keep connected to it. It helps you to stop thinking any extra or depressing thing that could happen during in that period of time. So like I said, it helped me a lot in not thinking about what would be the result of Directi. So that's something it helped me really.
Exactly.
Right.
Extracurriculars are a great way to, zone
Yes,
out.
of course. And you shouldn't be thinking like, should I do this extracurricular? Because I would be able, like, if you want to organize a event, don't think like this that if I get the chance to organize it, I would be able to put it in my resume. No, that's a different thing. Your resume, your professional life, your skills, that's a different thing. And doing something which interests you parallelly is also an important thing. So again, setting your priorities is very important.
Yeah, I think most of what is the best part of you lies outside the resume,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Right, true. So now that you've been a junior as well as a senior, how was your experience of the junior senior culture? And do you feel like this pandemic situation has really increased the gap between juniors and seniors? And any message you would like to give to our viewers?
Sure.
Okay.
You
Okay.
take it first.
Yes, of course, it has impacted a lot. Like, if I see myself right now, so like I told you, my journey is not only about me. It's about a lot of people who held me at different point of times. Uh, Taking it in regards of my skills. So my friends Arjan, my friend Sahil, Sanjeet, everyone helped me a lot. And if I even take in terms of placement, so I remember that during colleges when we were applying for internships and when we were applying for placements and all, like most of the companies I applied for, I didn't search the opening for them. Like it was either Sanjeet, Surinder, Shashank, Sahil, or Arjun, or maybe a lot of people which were around me. They were the one who were telling me, okay, there's an opening, you can apply it, and apply it. Like I told you that the Directi one, that I got the information about it from Rohit. So that is the one major advantage. It may not sound a big advantage, but yes, it is an advantage. It's a big advantage. The second thing is, as far as I am concerned, I have never been a person who could do a hard work alone. So I don't have a habit of sitting alone in a room and doing coding without interacting with anyone. For me, it is very important if there is someone with whom I can discuss. So like Sahil has been, like I told you that he has been a constant companion with
Yeah.
me. Like he was all like most of the time we were together, we were doing problems and we were solving problems. So whatever I know, around 60% or 70% I learned with him. So that is the greatest benefit to me. So the point is that the most beautiful thing of a college is the peer growth. It's like everyone must have experienced that. And students who are doing currently from home or who have started from home, they don't know their peers, they are not getting that. So peer growth helps you around 60 to 70% of your total development, so you are not getting that. So one advice I want to do is find some way to develop that peer growth. Like maybe you can connect with your friends, maybe you can, like, of course you cannot make friends online. You can only pretend to be a friend online. A friend only becomes like when you are there with them for ups and downs and you are living with them for a year, then they becomes emotional friends, right? So but
Yeah.
still, but what you can do, you can ask them, like you can see that what students are, like what peers are from your city, you can meet them. Or maybe at least you can do this one small thing, that during your classes you can switch on your camera, so at least you are able to see each other, you can able to see that how the other person looks like. So that's a basic introduction which we don't have, like as like being someone who has done college, living there, this was never an obstacle to interact with someone, because anyhow I have to confront that person. But in your case, in people who are doing from home, the first obstacle is to know each other. right? And we don't know that how long it would take. So like very important that you start interacting, you start that peer growth, at least 5% of what you would have got in the college, right? So this is something
True.
very very important. And second thing, when I want to mention here is that there like it is I know that you are not getting that environment. So one thing you could do is, you know that you may get the environment a bit late or something. So at least make your life disciplined. Don't follow your school like what we did in the school. Don't do that. M- like start believing that you are a college student. You are mature, and you should behave that way. You need to think about your career. You need to think about your personal growth. You don't need to be stay like the one you were in school, because in school everyone is a kid. So if you remain a kid even after these 4 or 5 years, you'll these college life would only would only remain about placements and all, and that's not true. So bring change in yourself also.
Right. Just adding a little to that, like I know that it's easy. It's still easier to talk to your friends, and your seniors might seem a little intimidating, and to confront and to talk to them or ask them about your doubts virtually without knowing them first might seem a little bit difficult. But take that step. Speaking on the behalf of all our seniors who have helped us and all of us that are about to become, like pass outs. So I would like to say that, yeah, any most of us would be ready to help you in the best way that we can. So don't be intimidated, and whatever are your doubts, just fire them away. Take that step to clear your doubts, and others around you will definitely help.
Right. Yeah. We're very glad to have seniors like you guys. So we have some questions from the audience. We'll be doing a Q&A session now. Sir, what according to you is the difference between working in a startup like IB and a big company like Directi?
Okay, so like I already mentioned it something in during my answers also.
Yeah.
Like in interview bit, which is a startup, we have less manpower and we have more work. So for that, they don't look much that do you have the experience of doing that. They just see the potential and they give you the opportunity. So in interview bit, you get a lot. Like in a startup, you get opportunities really quick without judging your past experience, without judging your capabilities. They give you the work and you have to do it. If you do it good, you have the confidence, you have the experience, and you get a versatile work. So I told you, I did so many things over there. I couldn't even count how many things I did. And working in a company like Directi, it's like you are more of surrounded by limited stacks, limited team, and you have to interact. Like for me, till now, since I'm an intern, so I have to interact very few people. They just give me some work, I do that, and that's all. So I have less work, less work, more work life balance, of course, and less versatility in work. In interview bit, I had more work, more load, but more versatility in work. So that's the major difference I feel in interview bit and direct type.
Oh, okay. So do tell us how to stay calm under pressure, or like, um, if you had like a really bad experience that, did you have like a really bad experience that led you grow in life? You can share about that.
Nikita will take this.
Uh, I think I've already shared with you one of the worst experiences that I thought at the time
I
was getting not getting the offer that I wanted. But yeah, today I think I can laugh about it definitely. And to handle pressure, I think you really need to keep that in mind, to not let internships and placement consume your life. Right? It's not one of the biggest milestones in your life, and any company that you work for will give you an opportunity to learn a lot. As a fresher, brand names don't matter that much. What you learn and how you grow matters. So it's not at all a big milestone to crack a company, get a great placement today itself. It might the learning is much more important. And try to keep that balance. Try to do everything that you want to do. Take a day off if you're too frustrated with everything. Then keep a balance. Don't let it spill all over your life.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And we need to take everything positively. Right. Sarah Chandra is asking how to enhance our resume when we are not in any clubs, and does being in any club play a role in this?
Okay,
Okay.
so I'll try to answer that. I've never been in any club, and I don't have the section of that extracurricular in my resume. So it's like think yourself, if you are looking the interview, oh sorry, resume of someone you want to hire for some IT field, does it really matter for you that if that person has played sports in college or not? Right, it doesn't matter. So it may doing some club thing or management thing is for your, like I told you, it's for your exposure, it's for your growth. Don't relate everything with your resume and your professional life. So participating in clubs is for your growth, is for your personal satisfaction, and adding it to resume, and like I never added, but okay, I had a privilege of adding some other things. So because of that I may have skipped club thing. But yes, you can add, but I don't think, and especially nowadays, no one looks at that. So they come, they ask you to, either they are asking the questions, so they'll ask two questions, or they'll discuss any one of your project. They doesn't even care, because because if someone is interviewing you right now, you in that when they were of your age, they also wrote clubs and thing, and they know that it doesn't even matter that you add any club or anything. So no one looks at that. So it's okay if you are not part of any club, it's okay if you didn't any extracurricular activity, some placement for some placement or thing. So it's really fine, I don't think it matters.
Right. I think that extracurriculars do help you, and all the club activities, they do help us to grow, improve our communication skills and other soft skills. These are really important skills in life in every sphere, so they will definitely help you somewhere or the other in your jobs as well. But just to improve your resume, don't try and add club activities. Yeah, you can add one or two of your major projects that you did in your college and about which you have an in-depth knowledge about. Don't just fill your resume with things that you just know half-heartedly or just have experience like a few days on, because if there is a thing on your resume, then that means that you have through and through knowledge of it. So if you keep on adding things to your resume, I don't think that the length of the resume matters, because if the interviewer asks you something about something in your project or something on your resume that you don't know completely about, then that gives a bad impression. So just keep it short. Just write whatever you have really, really experienced and whatever you have an in-depth knowledge about.
Yes, true. So will college provide any project opportunity for us, or do we have to find one?
Okay, so project opportunities mostly, it depends on your interest. Okay, so if you're interested in solving any specific problem, then you can start a project on your own. And if it kind of solves like a real world problem, then the faculty is sometimes interested to give you a relevant problem that they have and to make a project on their behalf. So that is like an opportunity to grow under a faculty to do a project. Other than that, the opportunities given by our college are more or less like working under a professor about a project or something. They also like motivate us to submit our projects to some great platforms that might offer scholarships or might offer some government recognition and stuff like that. So they definitely help, but it's you who have to take interest in these sort of things and approach them.
One thing I would want to add here is that yes, I this it's my conclusion at the end of my fourth year that instead of building a project from the scratch, okay, if you are learning then it's fine, but if you are building a project for sake of learning the advanced thing, then don't, like I feel that you shouldn't build the project on yourself from scratch. If you want to learn the advanced thing, the better option is to pick a build project and read and learn each and everything about it. Because how it would help that if you're building a project from the scratch, let's say it took you 7 days to reach to a point after which you have to start learning. But after working on it for continuously 7 days, first thing, you don't know that what advanced things are possible in that project, and also you become less motivated on doing the same basic boiler code again and again, right? So better, like I also did this. I picked a e-commerce project from GitHub. It's a very big project, and I started learning about that. Okay, what are the features that are very advanced? So like the cart making, and also I just don't remember all of them. But yes, so the point is, for learning advanced things, you should pick a ready-made project, and you should start testing on it and running the various sections of code to understand that how things are working. That really works.
Right, right. So there's a question by Sahil Yadav sir to you, Yatharth sir. Interview bit versus flock, which one will you consider and why?
Okay, so might be interview beta and flock HRs are looking at this interview, so I wouldn't answer that, because after the call I'll get the call call for. Okay, so like it's a hard decision for me. It's really a hard decision. Both of them has a different privilege: the work life balance, the thrilling, and the like the experience thing. So and in fact, in the Directi also, my process of conversion is ongoing. It's I don't know, it's converted. There are chances, but it's not declared anything officially. So till now, I would say that I have only one offer from Directi. So Sahil sir, I'm going to sorry, I have one offer from interview bit. So maybe till now I am going to interview bit only, because I don't have offer from Directi.
Okay. So we have another question by Sahil sir. Code forces versus lead code, which one?
Okay, so like in the second third year, in the first second third year, when you have the time, when you don't have the pressure of handling the placements and all, at that point of time, I would say yes, of course, code forces. I came to and know about code forces a bit late, but as early as you start, code forces is something excellent. Like it has truly the best coding questions, which require your keen observations and understanding of the problem. But then again, from fourth year, you have to set your priorities. Is your placement important, or is your competitive coding career is important? So if it's your competitive coding career is important, you go on with the code forces. But again, you should be improving in that, right? So it's not like that you are always doing div 3, you are always playing div 3 contest and doing only 2 questions. So if it's happening that way, you are not improving. So yes, and if your priority is placement, then definitely you should go for lead code. So that's all about setting up your priorities.
Okay. So Nikita ma'am, we have a question for you. Do you have anything to say about the evaluation criteria of CGPA at IIITM?
Okay, so I don't think that. I'm sorry, I'm not really clear about the question. Is it about how we are provided with our CGPAs in college, or does CGPA matter?
How we're provided with the CGPA?
Okay, so it's very subjective actually. This is a mystery that we all also do not know that on what basis we are given our grades. It's mostly the college curriculum is not very tricky or very hard that you have to like devote a lot of time to it. You can easily score like a B or an A after studying for just a few days. So the evaluation criteria mainly depends on from faculty to faculty. Like been uh, I have been under some faculties who give binary marking. Like if it's all right till the end, then five, otherwise zero. And I've also studied under faculties who wanted like long, elaborate answers explaining everything about the process. So I think you have to find that out on yourself. However, the marking is not very, very strict, I would say. So if you know the basics of what a faculty is teaching you, try to understand the basics, you'll get decent marks anyway.
Okay, okay. So with this, we have come to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much, sir, ma'am, for joining us today and enlightening us with your valuable experience. It was wonderful to have you guys with us, and also a big thanks to the audience for staying with us until the end. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel and social media handles for the upcoming Hype episodes. And
thank you, and
Thank
Monica, you
you.
really hosted really well. Like in my first year, I would not have able to do this. So it was
thank you
great.
so
It was
much.
great, and thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.